Morning. This morning we're going to go over something I touched on about a couple Sundays ago. But I need you to really understand that this goes in with some things that we've been going over the last couple Sundays as well. It may not sound like it, but if you earnestly pray, you will understand how. The last couple Sundays we've been going over the mark of the beast. We've been going over what it will be like in the end. We went over how exactly we're going to have to deal with that. The fact that, we're not going to be able to buy, sell, things like that whenever the mark comes out if we don't have it. And there was some pushback from some people, and both inside the church and online, there was some pushback because people didn't fully understand what exactly was going on, which is fine. I mean, the Spirit speaks to everyone in their own way, but they personally felt like they were being persecuted from the pulpit. And on that response, I said, well, that ain't me. That'd be the Spirit. I'm still standing here telling you, I'm not calling anybody out. I'm standing up here preaching how I'm instructed to. If at some point in time you feel like I'm talking directly to you, that's not me. If at any point in time you feel like you need to pray, do it. If you feel the Spirit tugging on you, pray. It doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of a sermon. It doesn't matter if it's the altar call. Whenever it is, we will do whatever we can. With that being said, Matthew 14:22. Now, Jesus, immediately, he made his disciples get into the boat and go ahead of him to the other side. And he sent the crowds away. Now, these crowds that he's talking about, this was during the Sermon on the Mount. Okay, in chapters 5, in the first couple of chapters here, 13, 14, that's where all this was. He had just got done feeding the 5,000. So there was a great multitude of people. There was a massive amount of people there. And he sent his disciples away. Okay? And after he had sent them away, Jesus went up onto the mountain to pray. Jesus, that'd be the Son of God, set himself aside from people, from his disciples, from those that he held closest to him, and he went up to pray by himself. I'd say that's something that each one of us need to do from time to time. I understand that a lot of us come to a point where we really don't know how to pray, or at least that's how we feel. But I'm telling you now, all we have to do is come to him earnestly, whatever the case may be. He understands what's truly in our heart. When he came down, it was evening. and the boat had already gone a long distance from the land. Battered by the waves and the wind, and on the fourth watch at night, he came out to the boat, walking on the sea. The fourth watch, it goes in 3-hour increments, so we don't know exactly when it is, but it was somewhere between 3 and 6 in the morning. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified and said, "It's a ghost." And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." And he said, "Come." Jesus told Peter to come. Peter asked for a sign. He said, "Lord, if it's you," because everyone's thinking it's a ghost. "Lord, if it's actually you, tell me to come out there." He asked for a sign. And Jesus said, "Okay, I got you. Come on out." Let's think about that for a second. How many times have we asked Jesus for a sign? How many times have we said, "Lord, I'm going through a situation. I need your help. Lord, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Show me a sign if this is what you want me to do." How many times have we gotten our sign and we were like, whoa, I didn't think that was actually supposed to happen? Or how many times have we asked for a sign and we weren't actually paying attention? I can tell you that there are a lot of people out there over the last couple of years that we have prayed for, especially during this COVID thing of, "I lost my job, please help me find another job." And we'll sit there and we'll pray and we'll pray and we'll pray, and then a job will come up. And, "Oh, no, I can't do that. I can't do that job. I can't do that. I'm too good to do that." Well, hang on a second. You asked for a job. You're about to go homeless. You haven't eaten in a couple days. You came to us for food. And you're going to turn down a job that you asked God for? See, these are the things that I've been talking about. This right here. These fake Christians. The last couple Sundays I was talking about how, and yes, got a lot of grief for me saying that there are going to be a lot of Christians that take that mark. This would be why. Let's go on a little bit here. And Peter got out of the boat and walked onto the water and came towards Jesus. Okay, Peter got out. He heard Jesus say, "Yep, come on, let's do this. You wanted a sign, you wanted to know if it was me, come on, let's go." And he did. He got up, he got out. There's a lot of people over their time, including myself, that have asked for a sign and seen that sign and started to walk. But seeing the wind, he became frightened. Think about this. Peter, he just watched Jesus feed 5,000 plus people. He has seen numerous miracles. And he lost faith for a second. He got scared. He saw what was happening in the world around him. He took his eyes off of Christ. He said, Lord, if it's you, have me come out there. Jesus said, okay, I got you. Come on. And he did. He had enough faith to step off of that boat. This isn't a little just kind of barely taking a step. No, he had to climb up over the rail and down onto the water. He had enough faith to do that. He's sitting there, he's looking right at Jesus. He's going, all right, you saying it's you, let's do this. And he starts walking. And just like each and every single one of us, the world starts battering him. Starts smacking him around. Starts saying, hey, pay attention to me. Hey, pay attention to me. As long as he had his eyes on Christ, he was fine. But what did he do? He saw the waves start hitting him. And he got scared. And he began to sink, and he cried out, Lord, save me. If he had kept his eyes on Christ, I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, the man is literally walking on the water in a storm. If anyone has ever seen a lake in the middle of a storm, those waves are horrible. Within the last couple of years around here, we've had boats sinking with numerous people on them. Companies getting sued, going out of business because they didn't come in because a storm was coming. These storms aren't good. Just do a quick Google search. A lake in a storm, waves in a storm. See how bad this is. Jesus walked out there. Yes, I am well aware, Son of God. But he walked out there. And Peter looked at him and said, Lord, if that's you, if that's really you, we're thinking it's a ghost because we can't really tell. But if that's you, he had enough faith to make this next statement. If that's you, I already know who you are. I already know what you can do. If it's really you and you're not just some ghost out there, I know for a fact that I can walk on this water if you tell me I can. And what did Jesus do? Yep, you come right on out. You climb over that railing and you walk to me. All he had to do was keep his heart and mind and eyes on Christ. That's it. That's all he had to do. Again, I'm very much so aware that that is hard. With all the things that we see all over the TV, with all the things that are all over the internet, with all the things that are in the movie theater, it is hard to keep our hearts and minds on Christ. It is. I get it. I understand. But going back, that leads us to a different statement here. Just like I said over the last couple Sundays, it doesn't matter what it is. You have a choice. You can let that world beat you down. You can let that world sit here and knock you around. Or you can continuously keep your eyes on Christ. There's an old saying in sports is, keep your eyes on the prize. Well, there ain't no better prize than Jesus Christ. And that man is standing there on those waves saying, "Come here, come to me. You are my child. You have accepted me. You know who I am. Come on, let's go." Now, I want you to think about this. Jesus, not once did he say, "Hang on a second, Peter. Let me calm these waves. Let me make it easy for you to walk." Did you hear me read that in here? Because you won't find that anywhere in here. No. He looked at Peter and said, "Come on. Your statement tells me you got faith. Prove it. Let's see what you got." And he took his eyes off. Immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand and took a hold of him and said to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Jesus Christ, the Son of God, walked on this earth some 2,000 years ago. Had 12 disciples that were his closest disciples. Had 70 altogether. 70, 72, somewhere in there. One of his closest disciples, one that had seen everything, saw him in the middle of a storm walking up to the boat, and he said, "Lord, if that's you, tell me to come to you." And he said, "All right, come to me." This man had witnessed healings. This man had witnessed miracles all over the place. This man knew what was happening. This man knew who he was. Each and every single one of you are going through a hard time in life from time to time. Some of them harder than others. I was talking to a man the other day, and he asked me why exactly it is that I hold certain beliefs whenever it comes to the judgment of others. People that have fallen off the wagon, so to speak. People that have gotten back on those drugs that they used to be on, or some facsimile thereof. People that have done some really wicked things. People that have snapped and murdered somebody. Now, I'm not saying premeditated type thing. I'm talking about those people that have snapped, that have been dealing with torture and things like that for years, and then snapped. And I told him, I said, the reason that I have certain beliefs on that, and the reason that I tend to hold judgment and hold lighter judgment than most Christians out there, is because they are going through an incredibly hard time. And it's really easy to stand on this side and look at them and go, "Man, I could have done that. I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did all this other stuff." They may have lasted a year, 5 years, 6 years, 20 years before they went back or did what they did. I don't know their full circumstances. But I do know that whereas some people are stronger than others in certain areas, some people are weaker than others in certain areas. And where I've had the benefit of having all of these well-meaning people around me that have assisted me from time to time, that have helped build me up, this individual may not have. And if I was in his shoes and I didn't have the support structure that I do, and I had all those waves coming down on me, would I have been able to last as long? There's no way of telling. Whereas this person lasted a year, I may have lasted a month. Whereas this person lasted 20 years, I may have lasted a week. We don't truly know how strong they are. What matters is that person's heart. What matters is that they have sought redemption, that they have repented of their ways, and they are trying to come back. Now, I'm not saying let them take advantage. That's not what I'm saying. My saying is that we have to acknowledge the fact that some people are stronger in some areas than others. I am wholeheartedly aware that we still need to judge people. I'm not saying don't judge. We need to judge their sin and assist them. That does not mean beat them over the head with the Bible. That means assist them, show them the light, show them the way, help them keep their hearts, minds, and eyes on Jesus Christ. Because just like Peter, who literally witnessed all these miracles, how many miracles have you actually witnessed? I'd be willing to bet money that there ain't exactly a whole lot of people that have witnessed somebody feed 5,000 people just off of a couple of fish and a couple of bread. But Peter literally just did. But we claim to have all this faith. Peter, one of the founders of the Christian church, Jesus Christ looked at him and said, "You little faith." Yes, we are going to doubt from time to time. We are going to take our eyes off the prize from time to time. But what did he do as soon as those waves started hitting him? As soon as he realized, oh man, I messed up. What did he do? Jesus, help me. Lord, help me. I know you're there. I'm sinking. I'm going to die. Help me. What do you think is going to happen come the end? You need to pay attention to what's going on in this world. And I'm not talking just watch CNN because they're a bunch of liars. And I'm not talking just watch Fox News because they're a bunch of liars. All these mainstream media people are lying to you left and right. All these big tech companies are lying to you left and right. And they're giving you all these examples of all these things that are going on. And the truth is somewhere out there, but we ain't being told what the truth is. And we have a lot of people that are sitting there going, oh my goodness, this is going on. The mainstream media is telling me this. The mainstream media is telling me that. I don't care what they're telling. I care what this tells you. But you don't know what it says. And come the end, come when it gets time to get that stupid mark on you, you're going to be lining up willingly instead of keeping your eyes on Christ. Jesus Christ said that they are going to persecute you for following me, but fear not, for they persecuted me first. He looked at Peter, one of the founders of the church, and said, you of little faith. Because the world was coming in and beating him down. And he took his eyes off of Christ. Each one of us are having a hard time in life from time to time. And it is up to us to keep our hearts and minds on him. Some of us have a bigger structure than others. But let me ask you this. I started off all this by saying that the movies and TVs and music and all this other stuff, what are you actually watching? Are you paying attention to this? Are you listening to what's actually going on? There's a Disney show out there that I just saw this morning, The Muppet Babies. That is telling little boys it's okay to dress like a princess. The Bible is very black and white about that. Did you know that the Muppet Babies is doing that? Did you know that the Nickelodeon is promoting pride? Did you know that there's a certain pedophilia flag that's being flown around there with that? Look at Converse's new ad. That is a demonic ad. If you go on their Instagram page, they point blank talk about how demonic it is and the pentagram and everything else. But you're just going to turn a blind eye to that. This right here, these are the things that are going to make you take that mark, that are going to make at the end of this, Jesus is going to look at each and every single one of you that are sitting here being lukewarm, because if you remember, he said, it is better to be hot or cold. For if you're lukewarm, I will spit you out. You cannot sit here and go idly by. You have to take a stand. Last week I looked at people and I called you ignorant. And I called you arrogant. And I stand by these statements. Because if you are ignorant enough to not understand that you will be tempted, and if you don't know the Bible enough, but you claim to be a hard-hitting Christian, a Bible-believing Christian, but you're going to twist and turn the words of God because they make you feel bad whenever they're read correctly, because you want to get your ears tickled and you want to make you feel good because Jesus Christ is only about love, you're ignorant. Jesus Christ taught love, but he also taught repentance. Jesus Christ taught love, but he also taught sorrow. Jesus Christ taught love, but he also said, I come to divide this world. I will divide your family, split them apart. Because if you truly follow me, it's going to be hard. You're going to lose family. I'm talking your mom, your dad, your son, your daughter. If you are a true Bible-believing Christian, you're going to lose those closest to you if you're living in sin. Because it doesn't matter about their feelings. What matters is about your soul. And if you are honest to God, a Bible-believing Christian, a born-again child of God, then you will change. You will quit doing those evil and wicked things of this world. You will stop looking at the world for answers, and you will start looking at Jesus Christ saying, how do I do this? Lord, help me. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because it's not. The world is a wicked, wicked place. It was way easier back then than it is now. To an extent. Back then, they were stoned. And I'm not talking this Colorado high stoned. I'm talking they were taken outside and beaten to a bloody pulp with rocks and left to die. Kind of like what's going on in China right now. Kind of like what's going on in the Middle East. But here in America, we are told to be tolerant. Up in Canada, 3 different pastors have been arrested for breaking the rules. They have a hate speech police up there. You have to tell them what you're preaching. And if you say what's actually in the Bible on quite a few subjects, guess what? They're going to come and arrest you or fine you. This is not an easy road. But God understands that. He says it is okay. I'm aware they're going to persecute you, but I'm there for you. Remember, they persecuted me first. I'm there. I'm going to help. No way, shape, or form is it called an easy road at all. Jesus said there is but one way to heaven, and that is through him. You're going to get all these other denominations and all these other things out there saying, oh, there are multiple ways to heaven, there are multiple ways to do that. No, there's not. The Bible is very black and white. Do not give me this meaning for meaning translation bunch of stuff. It is very, very black and white. I understand that if you need an NIV, because you are not competent enough to read it, and that is not a derogatory statement. Peter himself said that Paul's writings are hard to understand. That is nothing against you. But as you grow in Christ, you should be progressing through and getting a more word for word so that you can get a deeper Bible study. Because if you are truly a Christian, if you are truly a child of God, that is what you will do. You will want to learn. You will want to grow. But just like Peter, you have to keep your heart and mind and eyes on Him. Because if you don't, then the world is going to smack you and it's going to drag you down. Now, Peter was smart. He instantly said, Lord, Lord, help me. I'm dying. I'm sinking. I need help. And what did Jesus do? He immediately reached out His hand and said, I got you. But you of little faith, why did you doubt me? Why did you take your eyes off me? You asked me for a sign. I gave it to you. And you turned away. You asked me for something, and I gave you what you wanted. I gave you what you needed. Your faith should be bigger than ever. You took a step off that boat because you had enough faith. You took a step on water and walked on water like me, like the Son of God. You walked on water. You know that's a miracle. You shouldn't be able to do that. Right then and there, you should have been like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Regardless of what else was going on, you should have been leaping and jumping for joy going, I can't believe this. Look at this. Look at what the Lord is letting me do. But what did He do? He took his heart and mind and eyes off of Christ, and he got scared. And he began to sink. Everybody in here has fallen back in one way, shape, form, or another. Some of us have fallen down that hill a lot harder and a lot faster and a lot farther than others have. Immediately after Peter asked for a sign, Christ immediately helped him. Immediately. Immediately after he asked for a sign, Christ immediately helped him. Immediately after he asked for a sign, he doubted. And he looked away immediately after. Immediately after a massive miracle happened, he doubted. And he looked away, and Christ was there. Christ grabbed him and said, I got you. This is going to be hard. This is not going to be easy. My question for you today is this. It is not, do you have enough faith to get out onto that boat? Because a lot of us will be able to say yes. A lot of us won't, and that's fine. I understand that. You need to work on that. Jesus is there to help you with that. But my question is this. Do you have enough faith that after you get out of that boat, some of you are claiming to be out of that boat already. Some of you are claiming to be in the middle of this great battle. Okay, awesome. Where's your eyes? Where's your heart and mind? What music are you listening to? Are you listening to good music, Christian music? Because that will assist you in keeping your eyes and heart on Him. Watching good Christian TV shows will assist you in keeping your heart and eyes on Him. Are you listening and watching worldly stuff? How much are you letting those waves hit you? Ephesians 6 tells us to put on the whole armor of God, and yet we're out here walking around naked without any armor whatsoever because we choose to. Because we don't want to put in the work, the effort to read this Bible, to get on our knees and pray, to do whatever it is. We don't want to put in that effort because they might look at us funny, or they might look at us funny, or They might judge me and think I'm a bad person and try to get me fired or anything to this effect, or I might lose this friend or this family member or that family member. It's not going to be easy, but if you're truly a child of God, you're going to try. And you will grow. This is going to be hard. This is not going to be easy. But just like Jesus Christ was there for Peter, he is there for you. And all you have to do is say, Lord, help me. Do not fear. Yes, it's going to be hard to be an actual Bible-believing Christian. You're going to lose friends and family. But he is there for you. You just got to keep your heart and mind on him. Are you able to do this? Are you able to walk that path? He is there for you. He's there for you.